So Trump may not have control of his own brain anymore, but at least he has control of his own Supreme Court. Unsurprisingly, the court betrayed democracy yesterday again. This time by going faster to help Trump. On presidential immunity, of course, it's going slower to help Trump. It's a versatile set of whores. Its members, including Jackson and Kagan and Sotomayor, who before folding stood up just long enough to wave bye-bye to representative government in this country, overruled one of the easiest parts of our Constitution to understand, and did so for the benefit of one corrupt politician. Individually and as an entity, they have proved themselves inept at basic reading comprehension. They have proved themselves to be corrupt and illegitimate. The court's usefulness and relevance is at an end, and whatever replaces it, the immediate need is obvious. The Supreme Court must be dissolved. Because the Supreme Court is not just made up of whores. It's made up of incompetent whores. Quote, because the Constitution makes Congress rather than the states responsible for enforcing Section 3 against federal office holders and candidates, we reverse. Reads their decision on enforcing the 14th Amendment, denying insurrectionists the right to become president or hold other offices. 9-0, except it doesn't do that. Section 3, as conservative constitutional scholar after conservative constitutional scholar has repeatedly stated, is self-enforcing. It is automatic. If you engaged in insurrection, you're out. If you think you are being ill-treated by this, Section 3 provides you with an override mechanism. You can get the House and the Senate to each clear you, each by a 2/3 vote. Period. The Constitution says nothing about an enforcement responsibility. It's not given to Congress. It's not given to the Supreme Court. It's not given to me. The unsigned court decision, and of course it's unsigned, who wants to go into history as Trump's primary whore, reads in part, quote, an evolving electoral map, not your business, Justice X. This is not an electoral map case. Quote, could dramatically change the behavior of voters, parties, and states across the country in different ways and at different times. Also not your goddamn business. What the Constitution says, that's your business, not whether you're worried about reactions to it. Quote, the disruption would be all the more acute and could nullify the votes of millions and change the election result if Section 3 enforcement were attempted after the nation has voted. Again, Justice X, not asking you to do that. Nothing to do with you. You have a job. You are bad at it. It's reading the Constitution. You're corrupt. You're stupid. You should have just said, Trump told us to do it that way. At least show some self-respect. Quote, nothing in the Constitution requires that we endure such chaos, arriving at any time or different times, up to and perhaps beyond the inauguration. Unquote. Yeah, what was that case that Clarence Thomas was involved with? The one that forced the nation to undergo chaos, arriving at any time or different times up till 39 days before the inauguration of 2001. What was that case called? The Supreme Court is full of shit. And fullest of all is Amy Coney Barrett. In my judgment, well, that's a bad start. In my judgment, this is not the time to amplify disagreement with stridency, she writes. That has nothing to do with your job, ma'am. The court has settled a politically charged issue in the volatile season of a presidential election. You're not supposed to rule on seasons or politics or anything else of the moment. Didn't it say that in the preface when they gave you your copy of? So, you're a Supreme Court justice. What the hell do you do now? Quote, particularly in this circumstances, writings on the court should turn the national temperature down, not up. This is the same logic you will read in the Dred Scott decision which validated slavery. It is cowardly. It is cheap. It is whorish. And boy, did Trump get his money with this clown. The court should turn the national temperature down, not up, said Justice Amy Karen Barrett as she voted to make sure a psychotic insurrectionist who would try to stay in office past 2029 remains on the 2024 ballot, because that will really turn the national temperature down. Yeah, turn it down to 75 degrees body temperature, at which all of us die of hypothermia. As the Supreme Court reporter and analyst Ellie Mistal wrote, Amy Coney Barrett would really like to speak to the Liberals' manager over the rude service she received. Ellie also wrote, the Supreme Court must be stopped. God-damned right.